Welcome to this powerful moment, Business Redefined.
Asanteni sana for coming. We celebrate you. Asante sana. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. So today we want to delve into that world of religion and see how business can be taken to the next level so that we're not just thinking religion is there to satisfy us when we are in problems, but indeed we stand out and we learn a lot of things from religion that can help you and I stay together as one people who are valued by God, and that our presence in this world makes an immense difference. Right now, I'd want to call upon this gentleman, and I hope everyone has paid their tax. You know, there's a question Jesus was asked: should we pay taxes to Caesar? I'm sure in this day and age, if Jesus said no, we would have a holy rebellion all over the country. But ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for this gentleman who stands out as a managing partner of Gatune Associates profession. He's an accountant and tax agent. He's going to talk to us for just about 5 minutes about taxes and the world of tax so that we understand. Put your hands together for Mr. Peter Gatune.
I'm an accountant by profession, a practicing accountant, and I'm also a tax agent. That is a new thing in our economy. It was passed in the finance bill of 2012, in the budget of 2012, and implementation was last year, 2014, the issue of tax agents. 2 professions are accredited by KRA, that is practicing accountants and lawyers. Tax is a must, you know, for sure. In any economy, if you are earning money, tax is a must. There is no choice, there are no 2 ways about it. Now, the big question is, if you are a business person, do you know your status? I know most of the time you'd expect that to come from a medical doctor. Well, probably I'm a doctor in terms of numbers. Now, you need to know your status so that you don't work so hard, and when you think you have arrived, the taxman comes knocking and takes all your everything. And that can happen if you do not watch out. There are a number of tax obligations. I'll touch a few. One of them is called VAT. VAT, I can say it's a secondary tax. And because it is not a primary, you have to meet a certain threshold for you to apply for that obligation. But then you can also do voluntary application for that obligation. If you are a business person dealing with vertible goods or services and you have clocked 5 million Kenya shillings in a year, the law requires you to apply for VAT obligation. It is based on your purchases and your sales. The net is what you account and pay to the government. Your VAT returns and payments must be correct and accurate, and you must know the timelines. You must pay by 20th of the following month. Another tax which you need to know about as a business person is income tax. That is the default tax obligation. So long as you have hit 18 years, you have ID, and you have a PIN, you have that obligation by default. Which means you are supposed to account for your tax on annual basis. If you are a business person, you need to pay your tax on what is called installment tax. That means if your tax obligation is 40,000 and above annual. You are required by Income Tax Act to do that on quarterly basis, and there are 4 quarters in a year. You don't create your own quarter. The taxman has his own timelines. The first quarter, 20th of April, 20th of June, 20th of September, and 20th of December. What happened to the balance of tax if all of it is not covered within those 4 quarters? It should be paid by 30th of April the following year. There is another tax obligation called PAYE. That one is charged to employees. And if you have a business and you have employees, people working for you, and they are earning 11,035 shillings and above, they are within the threshold of pay. It is worked on a graduated scale, and you need a consultant to help you to work it out, and you must pay it to the government. When do you pay it? By 9th of the following month. If you do not pay, there are consequences. There is something called withholding tax. This is part of income tax. When you are providing professional services, like myself, not goods, and you invoice an amount of 24,000 and above, you are required by law 5% to be withheld from whatever you are being paid. And this amount that is withheld must be remitted to the tax authority by 20th of the following month. Now there is withholding VAT, which was reintroduced last year in September at 6%. We know the tax rate for VAT is 16%, but there is a 6% which was introduced last year. Now, withholding tax is there, and now there is something new called iTax. iTax has been brought in. Now, this is the system of tax in Kenya today, and it is going to catch a lot of people who have been earning money and not disclosing, especially those who suffer withholding tax. Why? Because now the certificates, withholding tax certificates, are online and they are posted to your account, and the government knows what is the gross amount. You need to know your tax status all the time, and there is something called a tax health check, which you need to undertake if you are a businessman. Thank you very much for listening to me.
I want you to put your hands together for this gentleman who is all the way from Ghana but operates in Africa. And this is a gentleman we just met today, but definitely his work is known all over Africa. And I'm talking about Mr. Ahuma Adodoaji, the founder and CEO of AfriLink Entrepreneurs International. Put your hands together for him.
This program of promoting entrepreneurship among young people. This program I'm working on started about, 4 years ago, when I stepped down as president and CEO of an organization called Plan USA. And one of the most acute problems we found facing the globe is youth unemployment. Our particular interest and focus is those who've been to college and have graduated and are unemployed but have started something on their own. And we particularly are interested in people who have maybe been at it for a year or two and are struggling, and say, okay, what do we provide for them? We provide them with business skills training, connect them to a mentor, because these have been identified as some of the challenges in trying to set up your own business. Lack of skills. For example, I think the tax person probably, how many of you understand cash flow? There are a lot of entrepreneurs who don't know how to manage simple things as cash flow. So when we say business skills training, that's the kind of thing we provide for our young entrepreneurs and mentors. We're particularly interested in those who have already walked the road, been business people successful, who would be a mentor to the young, somebody who you are struggling with a problem. You can call them and say, listen, I have this challenge. Can you help me find a way through it? And then thirdly, one of the other challenges is access to capital. You all know if you go to the banks in Kenya or most African countries, the interest rate is what? 25%, right? You can't run a new business borrowing that way. So one of our interests is to match entrepreneurs to investors and also give them access to subsidized loans. We are interested in you. Start something, and then as you move it forward, we will engage with you. We think down the road we may also focus on startups. Thank you very much for your attention. God bless. All the best.
Thank you so much for coming. Now we want to listen to this gentleman who, I was really amazed. How do you earn from people buying goods from supermarkets? I mean, you just don't have to work, but every time other people buy goods from a supermarket, you earn. Well, let him tell us more about that, because it's a concept that really struck me the first time I heard. Please put your hands together for the Space Global Limited Managing Director, Mr. Peter Masawa.
My colleagues who came ahead of me have spoken about interest rates, they've spoken about unemployment, they've spoken about the number of graduates coming out of institutions. And so if you really were to look at the picture properly, we have a lot of challenges. The interest rate last year was not at where it is this year. Now, what does that mean? A lot of people are going to be retrenched. The government has already said 40,000 are going to go home. If you work out those numbers, assuming an average income of 50,000, how much money is going to be out of the economy? So I want to talk about Space Global. Now, this is about owning a national retail chain. SPACE stands for Success Programs and Activities for Citizens Empowerment, and that is you being empowered as a Kenyan, and now we are moving into Uganda. We want to move into other neighboring countries. Now, it's about creating an opportunity for Kenyans through social entrepreneurship. What you know of today is that when you start a business, you make all the profits, your customers leave with nothing. In our business model, when you start a business, it's about a win-win situation where your customers earn and you also earn. Now, it's a consumer distribution system. We started this in 2007, and then we were using the name Pillar Technologies, or DPEC. I'm sure some of you have heard of that. And we use airtime from Orange, Safaricom, and Airtel. But the big challenge that everybody has is the issue of attitude. For you to understand this business model and to see how it works, you must work on your attitude, being how you look at things and how you interpret things. The late Winston Churchill said, attitude is a small thing, but really big. Now, our attitude is such that we are the horse, and your customer becomes the goat. You get the goat to be able to eat whatever is up there, you being the horse. We go through stages, and we teach our members, and that is everybody who is a member, and everybody is welcome to be a member, to learn how to earn, learn how to save, and learn how to invest. Those are the 3 stages in terms of wealth creation. Now, we train people in terms of skills, and my colleague from Ghana has spoken about skills. You know, your academic training and in any institution will teach you academic stuff, but they are the skills that you need to succeed in business. We train our members when it comes to those skills. And what is the key thing here that we want to overcome? We want to create wealth. The late Nelson Mandela said, poverty is not an accident. Like slavery and apartheid, it's man-made and can be removed by actions of human beings. If you live within certain estates in Nairobi, you have a wall around your house and you have an electric fence around it because you want to keep thugs away. We are saying that can change with our social entrepreneurship way of doing business. In the phases that we are going through, we started off with telecommunications, which is to bring people together through airtime, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. We're moving into phase 2, which is retail and manufacturing, and then in phase 3, we get into financial services. This is how it works. Once you understand this slide, you understand everything I'm going to talk about, and I'm doing it pretty fast. Number one, the airtime moves in that format. It comes from the airtime the company, the telecoms provider, it moves to a dealer, then to an agent, a retailer, and a customer. You, who is the customer buying a scratch card, you find the scratch card you bought for 100 shillings was probably bought for 90 shillings by a dealer who gave it to an agent, who then gave it to a retailer, and you bought it. Now, we brought in technology in between, and we've said you don't have to buy a scratch card. You can buy virtually using money transfer. And when you buy virtually using money transfer, the money that is being used by the middlemen and women can be shared amongst us, and it's been working. So everybody becomes a member of the system and begins earning. So to be in this business, remember that technology must be run. This is phase 1 of the business where everybody starts. You will get a link that links all the lines to your line. You get a website. You're able to see how the money is coming in, an accounting package that works out your commissions. And there you are. You have a business that has a potential to earn you as much money as based on how hard you work. This is how this business works. How much do you need to start this business? Is a one-off payment for life. And for the rest of your life, just work and earn. It's 4,985. That is for you to begin earning right from the beginning. The next phase is phase 2, and that is what Mr. Mwakazi was referring to, is now a more powerful thing about our business. Remember, once you're in the system, your line is there permanently. The next thing is, because you are introducing people to work with you, you are going to earn from them whenever they buy airtime. In phase 2, we want to do it with supermarkets. The next slide. And we want most of the income to come from supermarkets. Now, the way you know supermarkets today, my brothers and sisters, is the supermarkets sell you goods and services and they make the money. You don't make anything. In our business model, we want to develop you. Other than just earning from the supermarkets, you're also going to be able to supply things in those supermarkets and have more things to do in those supermarkets. So let me give you this example, see how it looks like. I'll go slowly with these numbers now. This is what happens in a supermarket. If you use sugar, the retail price for 1 kilogram of sugar is 115. The supermarket makes a margin of 20%. We want to share this margin between the supermarket and you, the member, and that is the members, because they are registering one another, 40% of the 20% margin. In other words, 40% of the 23 shillings is what comes to you, the members, refer to there as SG. So how much do you make, considering this is a chain? You make 39 cents per kilogram of sugar. How much, therefore, do you make from 2 kilograms of sugar that retails at 235? You'll make 79 cents. How much do you make from milk? You'll make 17 cents. And how much do you make from bread, retailing at 49 shillings? You make 17 cents. Now, because you are bringing in one another into this business, we're giving you the opportunity to earn from the people you have introduced to the concept to the 18th level. So how would it look like if you had 5,000 people in your team, and this, we have members here who have bigger numbers than that. Next slide. I've only used 3 products. I've used sugar, I've used milk, and I've used bread. If you had 5,000 people in your team, and this is you registered 10 people, who then registered 10 each, who registered 10 each, and the numbers have hit 5,000. If they were to buy 1 kilogram of sugar only twice in a month, you'll have made 3,873 shillings from sugar 1 kilo. If they bought milk And milk is something they buy daily. One packet of milk, you'll have made 25,263. And if they bought bread also daily, you'll have made 24,000. Total from the three items is 53,894. From those three products, we have this serious unemployment situation. How much then is setting up supermarkets? Remember, you are earning from the network. Now we give you another opportunity also to earn. So supermarket earnings, setup cost is roughly 22 million shillings. So again, we are putting our members together to invest and start this. Your contribution to start a supermarket, what return would you make out of it? That's the return on investment. Out of that money, we have worked on only 5,000 customers buying from the supermarket. And your return on investment on a monthly basis, forget about the income you are making from your network. This is now the money you have invested in the supermarket, is monthly 9.2%. We scale it down, we discount it big time, and we say 5%, which means you make a 60% return on investment every year. This is the kind of business we are talking about. We've been doing the mobilization for the last 7 years. Now we are moving into supermarkets. Now, how then do you invest in the supermarkets? We are using what is called a special purpose vehicle, because otherwise we would be forced to go to the stock market. And that special purpose vehicle is a Space Global Association that therefore allows millions of people to invest together, and you register with 2,500, and you can buy a minimum of 5 shares, each share going for 1,000, and that is if you're an individual, maximum is 1,000 shares, being a million, and if you're a group, minimum is 100 shares, and maximum is 5,000. That is the business we are doing. We are doing this business because we know the opportunities are there, and we'll be able to succeed if we do these kinds of businesses together. We are giving you income opportunities and streams from telecommunications, foodstuffs, manufacturing, farming, and from supplies. And as I conclude, my brothers and sisters, you may wonder what is my background and my history. I used to work for a bank called Standard Chartered, and I'm one person who made ATMs a huge success in this country when everybody thought those kinds of things would not work. I started direct sales in banking to get bankers go out and sell when everybody opposed it, and it became a huge success. Then I went headed retail bank for Standard Chartered Bank Nigeria, and then from there South Africa, looking at 13 African countries in strategy. So whatever I'm showing you is going to work and will be a solution for all of us. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Asante sana.
So profitability, is it wealth, is it generosity, is it ambition, is it greed? What should the purpose and motivation of a corporation be?
I think the motivation of a corporation is to create happiness. In India, currency is of 3 types, and it was represented using the 3 goddesses.
I just wanted to mention the principles of doing business in Islam, which are 5.
There is no Christian way of planting potatoes, or fishing, or even growing a chicken, or milking a cow. So there is no dichotomy between what is business, what is religion, and what is politics. All are basic structures of human relationships.